Okay, and we are recording. This is the 6th session of our Rose of Westhaven campaign, following their previous exertions and their confrontation with these strange, diseased and cursed elves from this abandoned temple that was rumoured to have something lurking in the depths and even more ancient ruins below it. Our heroes have climbed down a rope secured to a large wooden Elven hero statue, which points a sword over the hole that has formed in the ground when the entrance to the temple was revealed following a roof collapse. And now they are preparing to push on into the rest of these ruins. So I'm going to ask each of our players to introduce themselves and just say a little bit about their character. So first of all, if we can go with Johannes E.
Hello. I'm playing William of Riverhead, and he looks like a young boy with an exceptionally large backpack, and currently he dropped into a cavern and handed out a lantern to Marku the elf and gives him 1 flask of lamp oil, and then he pulls out a long stick, a 10-foot pole, and looks around.
Okay, thank you very much. And if we can now go to Dennis.
I'm playing Sasha of Riverhead, a young red-headed girl who is an orphan in the war that's currently plaguing the lands we are in. She followed Edward Locke, who unfortunately died and turned into a zombie. And now she's in a hole in the ground, kind of to give William something to ease up on, and he seems to have he wants to go in and explore these things, so she's basically only doing it for him. She doesn't want to be here.
Okay, thank you very much. And next we go to Matthew.
Hello, I am playing Marku, the token elf of the group. I have had an interesting session of late, discovering at El Temple of my people, and the seeming affliction that has come over them. After meeting one of my ancestors and speaking with him, he's coming along to find out what the hell is going on in this place and what has happened over these long 300 years.
Okay, and last but by no means least, we have Johannes P.
Hello, I'm playing Odren Molag. He's from Fadashar, the pagan country to the west. He's a big brute, kind of simple, but he's a priest of Dagon, the god of the waters, and he was recently rescued by the rest of this band of misfits from a prison convoy, where he had been captured by the royalists, and he's hanging around here because he's on a vision quest from his deity Dagon, and he's fairly convinced that this ancient temple ruin is going to be the resting place of a holy relic he's been sent here to retrieve.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll jump straight into the game. You've all shinned down this rope. Both Sasha and Marku are carrying a lantern, and just to make things a little bit easier so we don't have to do this later on, we're going to go in sort of turn order, so I'm going to ask everyone to roll their initiative now, which is a d6 roll. Okay, grand. I'll just drop those into the initiative tracker, and then we don't have to worry about rolling that later. And I will do a roll for the NPCs. Okay, so let me just sort that. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so you all drop down this rope into this spongy, mossy cavern. It's only illuminated by the flickering yellow lights shining from the lanterns that Sasha and Marku are holding. As you shine them around, obviously looking around, aware of threats that have previously come from here, you can see that the ground is a sort of spongy, mossy blanket that seems to have partially coated the walls and the floor here. You can occasionally see little bits of rock through it. All around the walls, as you shine the lanterns around, you particularly, Sasha, since you're stood near a narrowing of the passage in front of you, you can see that all of the walls appear to be covered with these thick green vines, but there's a smell of almost rot and decay that seems to emanate from them. And occasionally these vines seem to shudder as though some sort of vibrational breeze was ruffling them. As you shine the light around, William, you can see that dotted on the walls of this cavern, and seemingly everywhere you can see in the light cast by the lanterns of your friend, are these almost like large pustules or buboes, these blobs on the wall that appear to be some sort of almost like plant-like seed or pod. Each of them is so thin that it's almost transparent. Inside you can see a green, you assume, liquid of some kind, and occasionally you see like a shadow of something more inside these pustules. Okay, you're all in this chamber. Since I said we're going roughly in turn order, William, what would you like to do?
I'm looking around and would talk to the others. Marco, you are the expert here, I would assume. What do you know about the taverns of your people?
Well, I suppose I'd say I'm more of a city elf, really. I've spent most of my time with among your kind. I've not been in a temple like this before.
So,
but is there anything I recognise, John, in terms of architecturally or...
Okay, it's very difficult to tell at this point because so much of the chamber is covered in these vines and moss. You know that it's traditional in the Elven temples to try and make use of natural spaces. Normally they would embellish the walls with carvings, etc. Rather like the ancient Egyptians used to do in the real world, telling their stories and their myths, etc. But this place has obviously been abandoned for so long. Karnak, the elf you saved previously, who entered into the long sleep, gave you the impression that this place had been abandoned for at least 300 years. And in all that time, these strange and unwholesome smelling growths have been gradually sort of creeping over everything and obscuring it, making it difficult to see. You could possibly try and clear some of the vines or the moss off, but how keen you are to do that is entirely up to you. Then there's a matter of these strange sort of pods that you can see dotted almost haphazardly around the areas, nestled in amongst the vines.
So I'm sort of raising a lantern. Unfortunately, William, like I said, I've not been to one of these places. However, from what I know, they tend to be, most elven places tend to be harmless. This place seems diseased, overrun with wildlife. I'd say travel with caution, but that's pretty self-evident statement.
Okay.
We could try getting rid of some of this vegetation, but if we could do it at a distance.
I wouldn't advise to touch anything if you don't absolutely need to. I'm looking to Audran. Do you have any experience with dungeons or caverns?
Caverns, yes.
Okay, good to know. Just a few of basic rules, if everyone would agree. We should save our light, so maybe one of the lanterns should be pulled to a minimum. And we shouldn't touch anything aside from what we absolutely have to. And if we touch something, use one of these 10-foot poles. I have 2 with me. Someone want one?
Sasha's just rolling her eyes.
I'll take one.
Okay, I give you one. Usually you need 2 hands to use it, but whatever you want.
John, is this a fancy lantern that can be?
No,
Can you adjust the
you
burning? Like turn it down so it doesn't burn oil so fast.
You could effectively douse it, i.e. turning it off, but it's not a particularly fancy lantern. It's just a standard one. If you wanted to, as William had quite sensibly suggested, save your fuel. You might be, since presumably you're planning on all sticking together, you might want to just have one of you douse the lantern entirely. Then, if you need to, if one of the lanterns gets broke or something unfortunately happens to it, you've got a backup, and you're not going to have been burning extra oil.
Okay, she'll turn off her lantern then.
So only walk where someone else walked, and don't touch anything. That should be the basics.
I agree.
Good.
Okay.
Who wants to walk first? I'm looking in the group.
Okay, so as William asks this question and he's looking around, you hear as Sasha douses her lantern, and the circle of light around you gets a little smaller.
Yeah, hang on, I wanna move over here to Marco. I just wanna reload a few pistols before we go in.
Just out of interest, you memorized the light spell, right, Sasha?
She looks very angry at you.
No, I meant out of character, sorry.
Oh, yes, you did.
Okay. So just for emergencies.
So, John, I would like to reload 3 pistols if that's possible.
Yeah, that's not a problem. It'll obviously take you like a couple of minutes to do that.
Yes.
But that's fine.
And if the rest will allow her to do that, she will announce when she's ready. And well, I'm done. We can go.
Okay. I'm looking around and I'm looking to Sasha and the other two. If no one would says otherwise, I would go first, and Marco should follow me pretty closely so I can.
If I'm the one with the light source, shall I stay in the middle of everyone?
Sounds interesting.
Not just for self-preservation, but just to be helpful.
Yeah. So Sasha and Marco in the middle. I will go first, and Audran will go last to cover our back.
I'll keep my eye out, John, for any kind of elven writings, carvings, that kind of thing that would draw my attention.
Yeah, I'm looking for something that could look like a trap.
Like don't walk on this step, fire exit, that kind of thing.
And
Okay, no problem.
I would tap every stone I walk on with my 10-foot pole first. Gently.
Obvious trap here. We should avoid those.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. Now, obviously, I'll tell you that if you're sort of moving along cautiously, I'm not going to say it decreases your movement, but it is going to take you like a longer amount of time because you're moving along like cautiously, tapping everything, rather than just walking at a normal pace. But if you're happy for it to take a little bit longer, I'm fine for you to do that.
I mean, Sasha's not happy about it, but she knows that William has been going on and on and on about these 10-foot poles, so she's hoping if she indulges him now, he will stop talking about them.
Okay, William,
Maybe.
do you want to move your token forward to where you're moving to?
Yes, let's start here.
Okay, then I'm not going to stick in strict order because, like you say, you've arranged yourself in like a party. So whoever's moving next, I presume it's going to be Sasha, so yeah, Marco and Audran. Lovely. So as the two of you move up, as all of you move up, you see yourself moving into a further chamber beyond. Again, it has a very naturalistic look to it, as though some great tree had grown roots underground, and these temples were somehow grown or extruded out of this tree's root system. As you enter this room, either though, you can see that there isn't so many vines and moss clinging to the walls here. And as you shine your light around Marco stepping into the chamber shortly behind William, you can see that there are actually scenes, faded though they are due to like the passage of 300 years, there are actually scenes carved into the walls here. As you look at them, Marco, you can see that these scenes, they appear to depict a luminous figure, but painted quite large and in a sort of almost bright white colour. You see, as you follow these markings around, so taking a couple of minutes to look them over, that it appears to show, if you're reading it correctly, this luminous figure standing surrounded by small trees. In the next pictogram, it shows this luminous figure reaching out and almost what look like beams of light moving from it into these trees, and then you see a final third inscription or tableau showing this luminous figure surrounded by tiny stick figures almost.
Have you ever seen like this before? Is it a common legend or something more obscure?
It vaguely puts you in the mind of some of the ancient creation legends of your people. You know that your people, more so back into ancient times than now, believed that they were created from the natural parts of the world, and that's why you have such a great affinity for the trees, the woodlands, etc. And why they believe, well, some people more religious believe that when your people return to the great sleep, that is why they once more become one with the natural world and they become as trees themselves.
Internally, Marco is wondering if this is referring to the first elf myth, but it's a bit too faded and worn for me to really tell.
Indeed, as you're sort of looking around and you're poring at this, do you want to spend some more time examining it, or are you planning to move on?
I'll spend some more time if people are doing other stuff in the room, but I won't hold them up if they want to move forward.
Okay, so
we only have a limited amount of light.
Okay, so Marco's looking at the rest of you guys for guidance. What are you guys doing? Are you sort of looking around? Are you allowing him the time to look around, or are you planning on pushing on?
No, I would allow him to look. Information is important.
Okay, so you spend another couple of minutes examining these carvings in more detail. So if I can ask you, Marco, if you can please move yourself... Well, actually, I'll move you to the wall where it is. It'll be easier. So I'm going to move you to there, which is like the wall you're examining. As you're looking across it, you eventually find an ancient Elven script. It's quite badly faded, but it seems, you think, if you're reading it correctly, it says, "The maker of all things creates us from the world, so we may always remember our place in it and our duty." The rest of you, as you're moving into the room, looking around while Marco is examining these inscriptions, you can see the signs of what appear to be something has obviously been like eating in here. There's like discarded bits of bone and scraps of meat and fur, as though something had just carelessly discarded the remnants of a meal that they'd had here.
Can we see any items the people would have carried with them who got eaten?
Okay, so I'm going to move you a little bit, William, as you're looking around. As you're searching around, you don't find any signs of like stuff that whoever's been eaten might have found. However, as you're looking in the far wall, and there's some more of these inscriptions here, it seems to show a fairly similar thing to what Marco's looking at, as though it's been like a repeating motif. However, as you're looking around, you find what appears to be a small sort of woven pouch. It's quite badly decayed, obviously made of reeds or something similar. And as you're looking inside it, you see that there appeared to be a couple of sets of sort of carving tools that were perhaps used to create the inscriptions in here. And for the sake of writing that down, I'll tell you that those are two sets of specialist tools.
Oh, interesting. I'll pick them up.
Yeah. Why they've been discarded in this manner, you're not entirely sure.
I will show them to Marku once I checked if they are safe.
Yeah, they're absolutely safe. They're fine. So, Marku, William comes wandering over to you, shows you this sort of slightly decayed reed bag with these tools in it.
What kind of tools are they?
They're genuine sort of like sculptor's tools. You'll recognise them as Elven artisan tools. They're particularly... They do the job that normal artisan tools would do, you know, like carvings like on the walls here, etc., cleaning up sculptures, etc. But because they're Elven, they're of particularly fine making. They're particularly hard wearing, which is probably why they've survived, despite the fact that the bag that held them has obviously decayed over the passage of time and with the damp in here.
Oh my word, that's an excellent find. These are sculpting tools. I haven't seen these types of things since I was home.
Do you want them? I'm already carrying pretty much.
I mean, if you have no use for them, I'll definitely look after them. I have the skill to use
I
them.
would not know how to use them yet, currently. Sure, you can have them.
I can hold on to them. Thank you.
2 sets of artisan tools,
Specialist tools. Yeah.
I'll mark them down.
Sasha is adjusting her breastplate and can't. So, if you're done playing with the muck, could we move on?
Sure.
I'm looking around. Where exactly can we go? It's not entirely clear on the map.
Well, you need to get Marco to have a look around with his light. So, Marco, if you want to move yourself around, because obviously
You got it, boss.
you can only see the extent of his lantern at the moment.
Shall I go? I'll go like up here. Looks like it's a cavern, maybe.
Okay, that seems to lead to a dead end. It's just a small recess at the top of the cavern.
All right, I'll shimmy over this way. Ooh.
Okay, now you can definitely see there appear to be 2 passages here leading eastwards out of this chamber. One is like directly next to you. You're shining the lantern down it. The other is just below you. And as you shine the lantern down the passage ahead of you, you can just about make out what appears to be a thick wooden door, partially overgrown with vines, at the end of this cavernous passageway. And tangled amidst these vines, you can just about make out the bones of an arm sticking up out of the vines.
I'm muted, aren't I? So what I was saying is I'm going to tap the door with a 10-foot pole, just as I've seen William do.
Okay, well, move yourself to within 2 squares of the door then, and you'll be able to tap it with your 10-foot pole.
I stay
John.
right next to him.
Okay, John.
That's fine. Both move yourselves up.
You can hear Sasha groan in the dark because you're tapping with that.
Okay, so as the 2 of them move down this passageway, Odrin and Sasha obviously follow, staying sort of on the edge of the boundary of the light. As you get near to the door, you're pretty much almost standing on top of this skeleton, Marco, and as you're sort of like pulling your pole out and you glance down, you can see that this skeleton is most definitely of Elven origin. As you can only really see the arm and part of the skull because it's covered in vines, but as you look at it, you can see what look like teeth marks on the few bits of semi-mummified flesh that remain.
So it's turned to bone rather than wood.
So it would seem.
That's troubling.
And
Tap, 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 tap.
you take out your 10-foot pole and there is a... as you tap it on the door. You wait for a minute or so and nothing unexpected happens.
I turn to William. What do you think? You seem to be more experienced in this.
I'm looking at the door. If does it look like? What kind of door is it?
Okay, as you move up close to it, so move yourself a little closer, William, you can see that it appears to be just a very sturdy looking wooden door. It looks as though it may have once had elven carvings on it, but they've long been overgrown by moss and the passage of time. However, as you're looking down, William, you can actually see there's more than one of these skeletons sort of entangled in the moss of the cave floor.
Okay. I'm looking at Marku. I would prefer if he destroy these corpses just in case.
It's somewhat untraditional to burn one of my people, but in this case I will agree with you. Do we have much spare oil though? That's the question. We only have a limited
I
amount.
don't think we should burn them. I would just crush these skulls and maybe some bones from the arms, so if they want to move or can move, they couldn't anymore.
With the grimace, I'll bring the pole down on its skull.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do so too.
That's absolutely fine. The two of you bring your poles down, pulverizing the skulls of these dead elves. As you pulverize them, and now you're sort of obviously getting a bit closer, you can inspect them a little more. You can see that what you actually took for bone earlier on, Marku, is actually a wood very reminiscent of the wood you would find on silver birch trees, with that sort of white sort of bark on the cover of it. However,
that is somewhat more relieving.
Yeah, you do let out a sigh of relief, but obviously in the flickering light of these lanterns and sort of at the distance you were originally, it was quite difficult to tell that, especially with them being subsumed under this sea of vines. However, as the two of you are poking around at these skeletons, of which there are actually two, you can see that both of these skeletons have a sword gripped in their hand, and they appear to be wearing the remnants of leather armour.
What kind of sword are we looking at?
You're just looking at a standard sort of medium length sword, although it's a little bit thinner and tapered, as is the fashion amongst elven weapons.
Could I use that?
Yeah.
Is there a general question? Are elven items generally more valuable than normal items, or are they not?
If you took them to a collector or someone who like, valued such things, you would probably get more money for them. If you just took them to like a general guy who like was selling weapons, you'd probably just get the normal price for them. But potentially there's a market for people who like that sort of thing.
I would take at least the swords. I'm looking at the rest of the group. Does someone want the armors?
What quality are they in?
It is a standard suit of leather armour. It appears to be in reasonably good quality. It'll need some of the moss cleaning off it, but it looks to be okay. You might have to repair a bit of the thonging, but it's fairly basic stuff.
I wouldn't mind one of the swords. I currently only have a knife to defend myself with.
Okay, you take one of the swords. That's absolutely fine.
Okay, I'll take one of the elven leather armor then.
Okay.
I'm looking at Marco. Don't you have a pistol?
I think I lost it or used it during the towers incident.
Okay, I give you one pistol.
No.
Okay.
Just for until we get out of here.
Okay, so Marco, as you're like reaching down into these like vines around this skeleton to like, take the sword out of its
Oh,
hand,
come on, John.
can you please roll me a d6?
I knew it. I knew it.
While he's doing that, Sasha will say to William in Latin, last time he had a pistol, he shot Edwin.
No, I didn't shoot him. I binged off his armor.
Okay, so you take the sword, Marco. Everything appears to be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so while this is going on, Odran, what are you doing at the back there?
So, is there moss on the walls as well as the ground? Yeah. I'm probably sampling some of that.
Okay, that's
So much about we don't touch something.
Yeah, because you're busy doing whatever you do. I'm back there being like,
Okay, then it's absolutely fine. Can you move yourself to like one of the walls where you're sort of scraping some of this moss off, etc.?
I can't quite see, but I presume that there's a wall.
Yes, there is.
There.
Yeah. Okay, so you move over to the wall. You have to sort of like feel a little bit beyond the cone of light that's shining out of the passageway, because obviously the lantern's gone down the passageway. But you sort of feel your hand out and you feel the soft, yielding springiness of the moss under your fingers. And are you pulling out a knife or something similar and scraping some of it off? Or?
Yeah, my like eating knife, my food knife.
Just to let you know, Matthew, the sword is a standard medium weapon with the normal stats of a medium weapon. So let me just find those.
That's 1d8.
Lovely, thank you very much. Okay, so Odran, as you're scraping this moss off the wall, it feels quite sticky and sort of very unpleasant and clammy in your hand as you sort of pull a little bit off, and you get this almost smell of like rotting vegetation as you peel some of it off. And as you're feeling around the wall, having sort of gained your sample of moss, which you can obviously add to your character sheet, you can feel one of these bumps, these pustules underneath your hand. Obviously, you're very gently sort of touching the wall, so you don't burst it or anything, but you can feel it. It feels oddly warm as you move your hand over it, and then you feel it sort of vibrate a little, as though like something inside it had moved.
So it smells like decomposing plant matter.
Yep.
Okay. I step into the light a bit more.
Okay.
And clean my knife on my arm, and I say, I think this temple might be alive. By Dagon's wisdom, I swear the walls are filled with the fluids of life.
You mean these plants or something else?
The plants grow on top of whatever this temple is. I don't think it's the plants. I think it's something else.
Isn't that normal with plants? Sasha will take her highwayman sash and put it up to cover her nose and mouth.
Okay, no problems. Now, Odrin, since you've been investigating the moss, I'm going to ask you to make me a bushcraft roll.
Huh.
Which is basically the skill.
Yep.
Whatever skill you want, because you're not a specialist.
Okay, so you're unable to gain any more from it than I've already said, which isn't surprising, really. You're not a wilderness person, you know. You're a man of faith.
Yeah, there's other people to do this back in my village.
Exactly, yeah. You've got people who deal with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I just drink and eat all the mushrooms that they bring me. That's our arrangement.
Or smoke them.
Yep. But yeah, I take a bit of the moss, tuck it in my belt, and I'm like squishing the ground with my foot, like scratching the moss away, trying to see if there's pustules on the ground as well.
Okay, you've not seen any pustules on the ground yet. You've only seen them on the walls, where the concentrations of vines and moss seem to be greatest.
Okay. This place is portentous.
Creepy.
I don't know that word. What does that mean?
Unusual.
Yeah, I guess.
It's Elven, so yeah. Well,
I mean, what are we hoping to find down here?
More of these Elven soulstones? Maybe more of potentially valuable things the elves left here? Some old books, some old scribes, magic items. There's a lot of things you could be here.
It is my belief that Dagon has led us here to retrieve the tears of heaven, an old legend of crystallized rain from, well, the time before time. The first rain, some say. It gives you eternal life.
Eternal life?
Doesn't sound very desirable to me. I'm turning around and looking and trying to clean the door from these vines with my 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I mean, why do we want eternal life in this world?
Okay, so while I'm having this discussion, William, it takes you about a minute to use your 10-foot pole to clear, not all of the vines, but you cleared like a significant amount of them off. It'd take you a lot longer to entirely clear it. Obviously, it's up to you if you want to do that. It'd take about another 20 minutes.
No. Just the rough thing so I can open the door without any resistance.
You know, Okran, there's a story, a myth about the elves worshipping some sort of wooden demon. Could this be that wooden demon?
No, the elves don't worship demons. That's
No, they
all
really,
lies.
they really
Hardcore
don't.
Rose's beautiful elven eyes.
That is lies by small men and their small god.
Well, if we assume the word demon is just a human's word for something we don't know, so we just call everything demon.
Okay, so while I'm having this conversation, William, you have cleared enough of the door, so if you want to move yourself up to the door, you can attempt to open it.
Okay. I
William,
would
you
like to try to open it with my 10-foot pole somehow, but only if it opens to the other side somehow.
Okay, you push it with your 10-foot pole. It gives a little. However, it appears to be... You don't think it's locked in any way. However, it does appear to be sort of jammed quite solidly. Obviously, the vines and the mosses, etc., growing around the edge of it. You think with enough force, you could force it open, but it's quite difficult to get enough force when you've got this 10-foot pole that you're just like...
I try to use it as a lever somehow with the side of the door and try to force it open.
Okay, make me an open doors roll. Obviously, you get to add your strength modifier to that.
So nothing. I think I don't have open doors.
Is that a skill?
Is that a skill?
It is, yeah.
Hmm.
The base,
No, I don't
the base
think-
chance is a 1 in 6, but obviously you can add your... If you had a strength modifier of +1, you'd have a 2 in 6 chance, etc.
Oh.
No, I'm just rolling Tinker or something. I don't have anything. Nope.
Okay, you attempt to lever the door open, however, it's stuck fast. The wood groans a little, however, it doesn't yield.
I'm looking to Audrun. Would you be so kind?
Of course. And I step to the door.
Yes, he gets out of the way.
Me too. I hand him the 10-foot pole.
Okay, now, bear in mind that these, like, 2 skeletons are sort of strewn in the way of the door, Audrun. Are you just, like, stomping over the top of them to get to the door, or do you, like, tread around them?
Well, as I approach them and grab the stick, which I'm not sure what to do with, I probably just put it against the wall and
I'm taking it again.
and I take a glance through the bones, if there's anything there.
Okay, so you step up to the door. There is the sound of creaking and splintering wood as you sort of tread on some of the vines which press down on the bones of these elves as you walk closer to the door. Make me an open doors roll. What is your strength modifier, Audrun?
It is +2. I have this figured out on my sheet.
Okay, yeah, so you've got a 3 in 6 chance.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Okay, not a problem. You push on the door and it resists a little at first. However, after a little time, sort of with it sort of groaning and protesting, there is a and you pretty much bust the door off its hinges.
Witness the power of Dagon.
I thought it was the power of Audrun.
It is one and the same. You will understand when you grow up.
Sure.
I step through.
Says I can't help but giggle a little of that.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. So as you're looking into the room, Audrun, just on the very edge of the light cast by the lantern that Marco is holding, sort of like here, you can just about make out what appears to be the edge of a small pool. However, in the light of the lantern, the water has an unhealthy, oily, black consistency to it.
I'm pointing Marco to shine the light into the room.
Yes, come now, Marco. We
I'll
must.
take a few steps in, but cautiously.
I make room.
I'm
for
tapping
Marco.
the ground before he walks in.
Yeah, that's fine.
I would do this every time, so...
Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. Okay, so you shine the light in, and you can see this small... You would guess from the sort of jagged edges of it that it's a natural pool. However, as I said, in the light of your lantern, the water has this unhealthy, black, oily look to it. You can see as you shine the light around, there are deep gouges and scratches on the floor of this room.
I would smell. How does this substance smell?
As you get near to it, you can't really smell anything coming off the water itself, but sort of there's a very faint, almost like floral smell lingering in this chamber as you move in.
Like elven blood.
Indeed.
Speaking of dead elves,
Yes?
the skeleton that Sasha is standing on, is that wood?
It is indeed.
She'll pick up a head.
Yeah,
Put it on her back.
that's fine. Make a note that you've got an elven skull.
I thought the heads were crushed.
One of them was crushed, the other one wasn't.
Okay.
I didn't see you do that, but if I do, later on we'll have a discussion.
Oh, later I will ask you to carve it into a mug.
Okay, so what are you guys doing?
Well, I would tap everything around this liquid at first. Maybe I'm throwing a stone or something in just to see what happens.
Okay, you throw a stone into the pool, and there's this almost like thick liquid, like boom, as the stone disappears, and the water ripples for a few moments before settling back again. But the way the water ripples, it's very viscous, very thick, almost like oil. And as it disturbs the water, this horrendous smell of rotting vegetation rises up from the pool like a noxious vapor.
Okay, I'm covering my mouth with my with some cloth, and my nose too.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. Okay, Odrin, can you please roll me a d6? Okay, you cough and splutter a little bit from this foul smell, but you otherwise seem unaffected by it. And as the water settles back again, the smell dissipates into a dull background hum.
This is a foul place. We should move on. I say as I step to the side, trying to see what's there. It's right beyond the edge of the light.
Yeah, I'm walking to the other side of the pool of liquid and trying to look around. And
Okay, not a problem. If I can ask you to stop there. Okay, as William walks past the water, there is a sudden of this thick viscous water being thrown up into the air, and this huge rotting pile of vegetation rises up out of the water. Viney tendrils are lashing out of it. You can hear this sort of noise as it thrashes around, and I'm going to make an attack roll against yourself, William.
Okay. My armor class is currently 15.
Okay, this thing lashes out with these tendrils. However, they seem to be flailing around more on instinct rather than actually aiming at you. And one of them just strikes the wall of the cavern just behind you as you duck down, and then it slithers back into this vegetable mound. And obviously now we are on initiative, which is obviously you are first, William.
Okay. I would like to walk as far away from this thing as I can, which is not all too far because the door is blocked by 2 other guys.
You can move past your allies if you need to.
How many squares can I walk in a turn?
Let me just check. I believe it's 30 feet. Each square is 5 feet.
5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, somewhere here.
That's fine.
And I would try to pull out my pistol, my bow, and would make it ready.
That is absolutely fine. Now I will just.
Can I pull out and aim at the same turn, or
no? You can't draw a weapon, and aim in the same turn. I will tell anyone, just for future reference, anyone who fires a pistol or a gunpowder weapon, it is damp in here, so that will obviously affect your misfire chances. Okay, so with William's go dealt with, Odrin, you've obviously you sort of skirted a bit further around it and nothing appeared to have happened. You've seen William walk near to the pool. This huge vegetable mass thrashing out with these tendrils has risen up. What do you do?
Can I see what the brown brick-like things are in front of me?
Okay, the brown sort of markings on the map appear to be pieces of a door, similar to the one that you came through, but it's been shattered and there's bits of it lying all around.
Yeah. I think for now, is the creature showing any signs of moving beyond the water?
It has not made any signs of moving out of the water yet. It's just sort of like shot up out of the water and thrashed around a bit. Whether it can move out of the water, you don't know yet.
Yeah, but it's not like sprouting like feet and like getting ready to go.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens is I back over there because I really can't go through a marker. So I get around there and hold my my cudgel in front of me as if to prepare to smack it in case it moves. But since I can't ready an action, that's all nonsense.
Okay. No problems. We move on to Marku. Marku, you've seen this huge thing rise up, splattering this filthy, rotten-smelling, black, oily water everywhere. Obviously, you've seen William zoom back past you, sort of getting his weapons ready. Even Odrin's withdrawn some distance back towards where you are.
Yeah, I'll shift across here. So, oh god, everyone's disappeared. So that Odrin can get past me if he wants to next. When he next comes past.
he already can.
Can he?
Yeah,
yes.
he can move through the location you're in. It's fine.
Okay.
It's assumed you just get
I already did.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll just say to the others. Should we leave this room for now? I've got the lantern. I've got hold of my sword, but I am unwilling to just walk in and die.
Could prepare to close the door once Odrin is out.
Yep, I could do that.
Unfortunately, as described previously, Odrin pretty much busted the door off its hinges.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, like a brave person, I'm just going to back up a little bit here and just hold back.
Okay, that is absolutely fine. The light,
Little girl, tank for me.
the light in the room that you're in, Odran, gets a little dimmer as Marku withdraws a little down the passageway. There's just this thin column of light this cone of light that you're now in, and you can only just about glimpse this vegetable mass beyond the light. And then we move on to Sasha.
I say to the others as well, if we trap it in the corridor, we could potentially set it on fire.
I wouldn't want to waste any oil on this thing, if you don't have to. It didn't move. It didn't move on its turn?
You're not entirely sure, because you can't really see it now that Marku's withdrawn. You can see there is still some of the mass roughly where it appeared to be previously, at the very edge of the range of the lantern, but you can still hear like the of this thing moving, well, sort of moving its tendrils around. Whether it's actually moving, whether it's just thrashing around still, you can't see at the moment. Okay, Sasha. Do we have Sasha with us again, or?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. Sassy pulls out her, levers her pistol and fires it, and I rolled a 2, so I'm guessing that's a misfire, right?
It is indeed. So you pull your pistol out, there's a... and the powder's obviously got dampened, just a little wisp of smoke comes out of it.
She curses and readies the other pistol.
Okay, no problems. So that's the end of that turn. Back round to William.
I stay where I am and aim at this thing. That's my turn.
Okay, absolutely fine. So you're taking aim at it. Assuming it's not moved, you know its location, so you won't get any penalties for like actually firing into darkness. That's grand. So we now move on to Odrin.
Not really much to do. And they're waving about weapons, so I don't want to step in under the line of fire. So, I still have some light, so I'm sticking to where I am.
Okay, no problems. We move on to Marku.
I'll mute myself. That was fast. Have I seen it move at all?
You can't really tell at the moment because you can only really see the very edges of it, just beyond
Back
your light
out
source.
a little. Oh god! What to hear?
Can we hear some?
You are our light source.
I don't want to I'm keeping Audrin in there. He's okay.
Okay, so as the light moves back, Odrin, you're literally standing on the very edge of this light source now, peering into darkness, and all you can hear is this.
He's fine.
Sessa seriously considers shooting the elf. At least she can see him.
You still have a lantern yourself?
Okay, so we move on to the NPCs. At this point, I want to ask Odrin, can you please make me an attack roll? It's a melee attack roll.
Like with my stuff, or just in general?
Just a basic one. This is basically a grapple check, as we did
I was
previously.
thinking grapple. Grapple,
Okay.
grapple.
Pitiful.
And the second character?
So I was thinking about the mutant elf. I don't know, John.
John, chill.
Okay, if it's any consolation, this is a grapple check, so you've not actually taken any damage from it. So as you guys are watching, you see Odrin stood on the edge of the light when suddenly this slimy tendril of vines and vegetation basically wraps around his right leg and pulls him into the darkness. And you're basically being slowly pulled towards, you presume, the pool, Odrin. But it's not actually doing you any damage at the minute, it's just sort of dragging you towards the pool. Okay, so we're on to Sasha. Of course, the unfortunate thing now is, obviously, since Odrin's being grappled by this thing, if you fire at it, you're effectively firing into combat.
It's annoying.
Yeah. So she sheaths her pistol and attempts to light her lantern, and I have to roll something for that.
What, to light a lantern? No, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
So she'll light the lantern. Can you do? Is that an action?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an action, but you could still move. So you light this lantern, Sasha, and as you shine this cone of light forward, you can see that the main body of the thing is still where it was previously. However, a tendril of vines are snaked out, wrapped around Odrin's leg, and it's dragging him towards the main mass of the thing.
Okay, can she get her rapier out as well?
Yeah, of course you can. If you don't move, you can get your rapier out. That's fine.
Okay, I will not move then.
Okay, no problems. So that's the end of that turn. We come back to William.
Is it theoretically possible that I shoot the tendril that that grabbed Audron? Because I aimed?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, you're still technically firing into a combat, but what I'm going to do is normally it would be like a 50% chance of hitting Audron, a 50% chance of hitting the thing. However,
because I aimed, it's only 25% chance.
Exactly,
to hit
yeah.
it. Yeah. I would try that because I'm not sure I want to go near this thing if I don't absolutely have to.
Okay, so make your attack roll.
Should I roll the 1d100 first?
Yeah.
Okay. We didn't mention if it's over 85 or...
It's equal. It's a 25% chance, so it's equal to or under 25. You've hit Audron, which is unfortunate for you.
Let's see if I hit him. What's your armor class, Audron?
15, and I think it's unfortunate for me, mainly.
Yeah, but I didn't really aim at him. I'm not sure if I get the bonus.
No, I wouldn't say you get the bonus because you've not been aiming at him, so it'd just be like a basic roll.
Okay. 16 for damage.
Okay, so you take aim at this tendril, William, and as you loose your arrow, it's just unfortunately at the moment when this thing sort of like drags Audron directly into the path of the arrow, and it sticks into your shoulder, Audron, causing you 4 damage.
Hang on, why did you go to 0? You have more than 4 hit points, right?
I have 4 hit points.
Oh my god.
So this arrow hits Audron in the shoulder. You see his eyes roll back in his head, and he stops all resistance to this thing. Like flumps to the floor as it's still dragging him forward.
I think it's probably in my neck.
I tried to save you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I know. I did the same thing to the priest.
so we skip Audron's go for obvious reasons, and we come to Marku.
I'll move back up to try and like illuminate. Because I thought we were backing out. That's what I assumed was happening. I mean, I've got a pistol too. I've got a pistol as well. It's a dangerous. Could I use the pole to sever the limb?
Technically, he's not in combat anymore. Just saying.
However, he's still being grappled by the thing, so you would still run the risk of hitting it. You were asking, could you use the pole to do something, Marku?
The pole to either pincer or cut the vine that's...
Well, unfortunately, the pole's a pole. It doesn't have like a sharp end on it. So while you can hit the vine with it, it's a vine. You're not going to damage it by hitting it with a pole. And as you're considering this, you're watching as Audron's body is being like dragged towards this thing.
I'm gonna try and help him. Can I give... If I go in to attack, can I give my lantern to someone, or is that going to be my action for the turn?
You could just stand it on the ground.
Yeah, well, what I'll assume is if you want, you can like clip the lantern to your belt or something. Yeah. You know that Sasha's lit a lantern as well. So
yeah, okay. So I'll put it on the ground and I'll go up to Audron.
Okay.
And I'll try and cut the vine and get him out of there.
Okay, move yourself up to Audron. Okay, so you're not going to run the risk of hitting Audron because you're deliberately trying to cut the vine, and Audron's it's not thrashing him about now. He's not resisting. So you need to make me a basic attack roll. I will tell you that you only need to beat a 10.
8. Oh right, okay. Yeah, I haven't done an attack roll in a while. It's asking me questions. All right, cool. Oh, come on!
No.
Okay, what weapon are you using? Are you using your new Elven sword, or...?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're hacking at this vine, and there's this horrible-smelling black fluid leaking out of it that has a horrible smell of rot to it, but you've not managed to hack through the vine enough to stop it pulling Audron forward. However, it has slowed it a little, so it's not pulling him quite as quickly. So we're going to move on to the NPCs go, and Audron is dragged a little closer.
I'm going to try and save you, man.
Okay, we move on to Sasha.
Can I move in to attack this ramping mount?
Yeah, move yourself in.
So here. Is that cool?
That's absolutely fine.
And she stabs it.
Okay, make your attack. Right, you're attacking the main mound rather than the vine, are you?
Yes.
Okay, now I will tell you, I'm not going to tell you the exact number, but the mound is far more difficult to hit. However, you have done it with style and panache. So you managed to sort of hack off a good amount of this mass. And as you're doing so, as you hack some of the vines off it, you can actually see what look to be almost like wooden bones, very similar to the ones you found on the skeletons outside that are like embedded in this mass.
Oh.
And I'm going to say that you've hacked away enough that it stopped like being able to pull Odrin nearby, because obviously it's now regarding you as like more of a threat than the unconscious Odrin.
Oh, I didn't want that. I want the elf to be the threat.
Well, the elf's further away, unfortunately. Okay, so that's that turn done. We come on to William.
Do I see that Audrin is freed?
Yep.
I would run up to Audrin and try to pull him away from this thing.
Okay.
A little bit at least.
That's fine. So move yourself back 1 square towards the passage, and I'll move Audrin up as well. As you drag this heavy barbarian away from this mound that's still sort of undulating and thrashing.
I'm basically just doing one push away. I'm trying to use all my strength on that.
Okay, not a problem. So, Marku, you've seen William dragging Audrin back.
Marco?
I'm guessing you probably muted Marku.
Yes, I am. I will take a step back. I don't have the light source anymore. If I draw the pistol and fire it,
Yep.
am I do I stand a chance of hitting anyone, or is it just a straight roll?
No one is being grappled by the creature at the moment, so it will just be a straight roll. As I've said previously, the main mass of it is far more difficult to hit.
Okay.
Than just like one of the tentacles.
I'll just take a shot at it to try and distract it so that it gives Sasha a chance to move out the way.
Okay, make your attack roll.
Well, difficult to injure, right?
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
So is it I've never shot the pistol. Is it 1d100 first? Or is that just for the...
No, D10 first.
Yeah, roll a d10, you need to get anything but a 1 or a 2.
Alright.
Okay, your powder's good, you can fire the pistol, make your attack roll. D20.
Right.
It's 1d8 damage.
So, do I add my range bonus to this?
Yes.
1d20. Yep.
Okay, you hit the creature, blowing off some of the leaves and the foliage on the exterior of it, but you don't seem to have done any harm to the main mass of the creature.
He didn't roll damage yet, or did he?
No.
Well, effectively, he didn't roll enough to
He
hit
didn't
it.
score high enough.
Yeah, this is just flavour. He didn't roll enough to hit
okay.
it. So.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled damage anyway, just for the hell.
Okay, so it's the NPCs go now, and this thing lashes out with a tendril towards Sasha. So what's your AC, Sasha?
15.
You got the breastplate.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so it has hit you.
Johnny ain't messing around.
Okay, you take 7 points of damage as this huge trunk-like appendage is extruded from the mass and just smashes into you.
Why does she get damage and Audrin did not?
Because it was just grappling him, it wasn't attacking him.
Okay.
Because he wasn't close enough.
But he did get damage.
No, he did get damage because I hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is Sasha down?
Yes.
Is she
God.
dead already, or...?
No, you could go to -3, right?
Yep.
I'm at -1.
Okay, so this thing strikes Sasha's, throwing her into the wall of the cavern, effectively.
You got 6 hit points?
As this happens, the lantern hits the floor that Sasha was holding. There is a sound of breaking glass, and that lantern goes out.
Yeah, she got 6 hit points.
Okay.
Is that an arrow?
I have got 4, and you are the mage in this group. I'm not sure how you got this much, but okay.
Well, we'll run with it for now. Don't worry about it too much.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the NPCs done. Obviously, Sasha is unconscious. So we come round to William again.
I'm not sure if I should do the oil thing again. It's maybe a bit too risky because I don't have much time to light it. How far can I drag Sasha away?
Sorry, how far can you what? Oh, how far can you drag?
Drag Sasha away.
Well,
I want to save her.
Sasha's fairly small, so you'd be at like half movement while you were dragging her.
Okay, I would walk here, and then I would try to drag her as far as I can.
Okay. So move to where you are, and I'll put Sasha next to you.
I'm basically like going in panic mode and trying to save her.
Okay, so William runs in, grabs Sasha, and drags her back into the passageway. Again, you can hear this thing like.
The breastplate did nothing.
And we move on to Mark.
You're still alive?
Alright, so if I want to stabilize, I don't know the term other than that, Aldran, would that be my turn effectively?
Okay, well, since this is important, just let me check.
Or can I move him and do it? Because that would really be super useful for him.
We really should invest in super glue just to end the bleeding.
Okay, stabilizing him isn't
Just
a
cut the
problem.
elf.
He's not going to lose any further hit points unless he actually takes damage. So obviously for flavour, yeah, you can stabilize him, but it's not going to interfere with your actions.
Okay, so then I will very, very nobly save him and pull him out of the cavern.
Okay, so move half of your movement to wherever you're going, and I will move Audrun up.
That would be like here, and you can go here. So that's 3 squares, isn't it?
Okay, you move back into the passage. The cone of light cast by the one remaining lantern, narrowing. You can just about see this thing undulating beyond just at the very edges of your light. However, as you wait for a minute maybe, but it shows no sign of actually pursuing you.
Okay. We should try to stabilize both of them. ASAP.
I'll just if you're on the safe side, I'll just check to make sure Audrun's not become one of those weird zombie things, because every time someone's died so far, it's been horrible.
You don't see any signs of Audrun returning as a revenant of any kind.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, I would try to bind her wounds and maybe disinfect them with something alcoholic, some wine or
Obviously,
something.
with having a god behind him, that means
That's
he's
fine.
blessed.
Well, since it was a tree trunk, it's probably just some broken ribs and stuff, right?
Indeed.
Depends on if it's at Saunce or something.
I mean, it didn't hit her head, right? So she
No.
have a cave-in skull.
No. You guys know that normally in the sort of state they're in, because I presume you're all on like 0 hit points, then it's going to take like at least a day's worth of rest for them to like recover a bit. Obviously, normally you'd be like, oh, Audrun will sort us out with a bit of the healing, but...
Yeah, the
somehow
problem is we can't pull them up. We have to wait the day inside of this fucking cavern.
Well, technically one of us could go up, and then we could arrange some kind of pulley thing. We've got enough rope, right?
The problem is if we drop them, they are pretty much dead.
I mean,
And
there is
don't have the material to create a rolly or something. I wouldn't try to do that.
Didn't we get some healing herbs from that dude?
Did we?
Or was that when we came back with Dani? He would give us that.
I want some fucking healing potion.
Have any of you got healing herbs on your character sheet?
No.
There you go then.
I've got some garlic.
I've got some wine.
I mean, who knows what this could do?
Yeah, so basically we have to wait an entire day until both of them wake up and Audrey heals them.
Pretty much. I mean, you could withdraw to perhaps the cavern you originally entered.
Yeah, that's probably the safest idea because we get at least a bit of light in there.
We need to stick together, and since they're unconscious, it'd be best to let them recover.
Okay, so if you guys are doing that, I'll move you all back into the first.
The central cavern. In a weird turn of events, I'm going to ask a small child how to reload a gun.
I show him. Basically, you have to clean it, and then you have to make it start jump, and then put the powder in, and then the...
Where did you learn how to do this, William? That's what makes me wonder. You seem to know a lot about killing people for a young boy.
I'm looking at him a little while. Things are not always as they appear.
Okay, so if you guys are basically planning to camp out for a day in that initial cavern you came into, giving your fellows chance to recover, and I'm assuming, you'll have laid them down comfortably, you'll have done whatever you can for them, that's absolutely...
Yeah, we got some moss lying around here, and some bedrolls and whatever. We would try to make it as comfortable for them as possible, and take guard.
Can I jerry-rig a torch of some kind so we're not burning lantern light the entire time?
Torches burn faster than lanterns.
Plus, any wood or vines you could get down here would be sort of damp and saturated down here.
And my dead relatives.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, we're burning Grandpa. It's fine.
Okay, so are you guys effectively going to camp down here, take watches, etc.?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask everyone, including the people who are unconscious, to cross off one of their rations. Because I'm assuming you guys are feeding them a bit of food, to keep them up, give them a bit of water, etc.
Yeah.
So a day passes. I'm going to ask for your watch that you take, Marco. Can you please roll me a d6?
Okay.
Okay, your watch passes fairly uneventfully. However, during your watch, as you're looking up through the hole in the roof, you briefly see a flare of light in the night sky that you can see through the hole as a shooting star passes overhead. Then I'm going to ask William, can you please make a d6 roll for your watch?
Okay. Sure.
If we did take the coats and stuff off the royalists, I'll use them as blankets, for Audrey and Sasha.
Oh, by the way, did the royalists have any rations by chance? Because
they didn't know.
Because Audrey didn't have any rations on him, so we are running out of rations pretty fast.
Okay, so I'm going to ask William, can you please make a roll for your watch? It's a d6 roll.
I did. I rolled a 6.
Oh, 6, splendid. Okay, your watch also passes uneventfully, and as sunlight shines down through the hole in the ceiling of this chamber, both of the people who are unconscious, since you've effectively had a day's rest, you can regain 1 hit point.
Sasha has...
William, again, has not taken any damage so far.
Exactly.
It's just...
Now, obviously, bear in mind, although technically you can go to minus hit points, in actuality, it really sort of stops at 0. That's just a measure of whether you've been killed or not. So effectively, both of you will be on 1 hit point. So you'll be conscious, you'll be waking up, finding yourself covered in these royalist coats. You'll have bruises all over you. You'll probably have some thorn marks and abrasions around your leg, Audrey. Like I say, Sasha, your chest will be covered in bruises, but the two of you do wake up, but you still feel incredibly unsteady, but you are conscious and capable of acting.
My first thing would be to go and grab a bunch of moss. I presume is it moist enough to produce water if you squeeze it?
Yeah, if you squeeze it, water comes out. It does have a slightly oily look to it, though.
Mm-hmm. I I grab a bunch of moss and I go to Sasha and I sing the rhyme that I sang at the prison break wagon scene and about the passing of the rains, and I squeeze the moss. It produces a small drip of water, and Sasha gains some hit points from my weird magics.
Oh, we like weird magics.
7 hit points.
Ooh, she never felt better.
Okay, so as Odrin sings this strange sort of sing-song rhyme that you've heard him sing before, and he squeezes this moss water onto your wounds, you notice your abrasions start to knit themselves back together and you start to feel a great deal more healthy, Sasha, although Odrin's still not looking the best.
Yeah, I just, after I finish, I just flop down on the ground.
You can't do this again, right?
Of course I can.
Oh.
That actually, that feels better.
Are you alright? William looks really worried.
Yeah, but that stupid breastplate didn't do any good.
Still keep it, please.
It looks like it probably has a big fin now, right, John? From the hit.
Yeah. Okay, so what are you guys doing? Odrin's still looking in a bad way. Sasha's pretty much healed.
Can you heal yourself? I'm looking at Odrin.
Yes.
What
I say as I lay down on the ground.
It would be helpful if you did. And maybe we should walk around such puddles.
I nod a bit up at you, and I close my eyes and put the moss under my head, and I go, tomorrow.
Okay, so are you guys waiting another day to allow Odrin to heal himself up?
The thing is, we don't know when the royalist will come. And we don't have infinite lamp source.
Now, I'm assuming, just to be a little bit on the charitable side, that since sunlight is shining down through here, that you're not really sort of like burning lantern oil, and there's enough moonlight coming down through here that
okay.
You'll be all right as long as you're in this chamber. I'll only start knocking off the turns of oil once you go out of this chamber again.
I've also got some candles, which we
Well-
can use as a pinch.
As long as the royalists don't come, we still could try. We should not go near these puddles, though.
Okay, so
Maybe we should just go back and deliver Dani to her uncle.
If you think so. I don't look very happy when you suggest this, but you can see that William would accept us if you said we do that.
I mean, it is dangerous down here, that has to be sure. Like any kind of Elven place I've been to before.
We didn't get much out of it yet, so...
Yeah. But I don't like the idea of the royalists getting things down here either.
You still got the soul stone, though.
What would
That's
they
true.
get? A caved-in skull? A broken leg?
We
Chopped
got
off
some
hand?
tools and a sword.
Armor. We got our hubris reduced as well.
you see, as you mentioned, armor, and like Sasha's like sat there in this like dented up armor that did like nothing to stop her getting the crap knocked out of her. She's like,
Yeah, but all the great old ones. What a mighty plunder.
Okay, whatever.
But I mean,
There was that other passageway though. There was more than one.
yeah, silence off. She looks at the big hunk. Are you really thing up to exploring anymore, Odrin?
Oh, sure. Sure, just resting for a bit. I say, and I get up, and I'm a bit wobbly because my damage is probably, I lost a lot of blood from the arrow.
He does look a little bit pale. His sort of normally tanned physique is like.
But he's alive.
I'm pretty sure that arrow is still in there because I didn't remove it so that you don't bleed out.
It probably broke when you moved me.
Yeah,
so.
the actual head of it's probably still in there, but the wooden bit was snapped off as he was being like dragged around.
I'm sorry, by the way. I didn't intend to hit you.
Sasa puts on the breastplate and kind of is annoyed with the dent and shifts it around a little. Okay, if you want, we can very carefully look around. I don't know if we should go back to that tentacle thing and try to kill it. Maybe kill it by a distance, assuming that you don't move away. And she looks at the elf.
The problem is this thing was pretty unexpected, so I'm not sure what we could do to detect it. I tried to poke it, I tried to throw a stone in it, but it didn't react.
Yeah.
So if something similar hides somewhere, I don't know how to prepare against it.
But maybe we should do like the soldiers do, have a firing line.
A firing line. All is as Dagon wills it. So let's be off.
Well, the Dagon is kind of like a dick.
True.
Okay, so
maybe we should just look around very, very carefully, and if anything looks suspicious, we just turn around.
I just think, this when I stabbed it, it had those wooden bones inside.
This is going to be your demon thing again, is it?
No, I'm just saying that maybe Dagon has a point. Ogden has a point.
Yes, he does. Lots of points.
With this place being alive.
And what does it make a difference?
Well, if it is alive, and let's say we consider it to be one creature, wouldn't it know if we attacked it at one point? Then the other points would know it? If they're connected?
We don't know much about it
That's
yet.
crazy talk.
It didn't follow us, and even though if it would be connected, it would know where we are.
Maybe it can't follow. Maybe it's tied to the murky pond.
You're just doing a lot of speculation that doesn't really help anything.
That's what I do. Okay, so should we try a different corridor?
I would like to try and do it very, very cautiously. Don't go near anything that looks suspicious.
Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do at the moment is I'm going to drag Marku's counter around just to show you the other exits from the chamber that's next to this one.
Okay.
I won't go anywhere that's suspicious. Everything is suspicious down here.
That's the thing, but yeah, let's try anyway.
Okay, guys, so you should now be able to see the chamber with Marku in it.
Yes.
Okay, now there is a passageway to the left, which appears
Can't
to be...
see it. Oh, yeah,
it'll take a little while to update.
We have to move near it.
Okay, let me just drag the rest of you up. Okay, there's a passageway over to the left, which appears to be blocked by rocks. And then if I move Marku over here, there are the two passageways you saw before. One with the skeleton on it that leads to the chamber with the vegetable mound in it, and the other one to the southeast.
Yeah, basically there's only one way left, if you don't want to move rocks.
Yeah, unless this leads somewhere. Or what's that?
We've already tried as a dead end.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's check the
Very
one
cautiously.
that we haven't yet.
Okay, so Marku, you've got the lantern. If you want to move yourself towards the new chamber.
I'll stop about there. Just careful.
Okay, as you move down this passage and you shine your lantern into the room, you can see what appears to be a room with a couple of chairs and a table in it, partially overgrown. It looks like these may have once been some living quarters or something similar, but these chairs are knocked on their side. There's moss growing over the surface of them. The desk, however, appears to be remaining standing. You can also see what appear to be these wooden, like silver birch bones sticking out of the moss in the centre of the room, where no doubt another of your kin has fallen.
So this is the table.
Yep.
And we see the star thing, what that is.
Okay, as you peer into the murky depths of the lantern, you can just about make out what seems to be a figure stood motionless against the far wall.
Okay.
Very, very slowly walking inside, tapping everything with my pole before advancing.
Okay.
Just looking around, looking at the chairs and the table.
Okay, as you move in, you keep one eye on the figure at the far end. It doesn't appear to react or move in any way as you move in. You can see that the desk appears to have, the vines haven't quite reached the surface of it, and you can see some of these large leaves with Elven writing on that they use as their sort of ancient form of writing, covering the table.
I like to light my lantern, and
I'm afraid your lantern got smashed when you got smashed into the...
Oh, yeah, okay, makes sense.
I'll move another step forward if I can.
I would try to snatch these writings with my 10-foot pole and hand it to Marku.
Oh, here.
That's fine. You snatch these partially torn leaves. They're quite badly damaged, but you grab them and you can see this ancient Elven writing inscribed into them. Although as you're sort of looking through them, William, obviously you can't read ancient Elven. You do find something a little bit odd. As you're looking through them, you find one of them that has the etchings in common. It's an archaic form of common, but you can read it.
Does it say don't go in the other room?
No, it doesn't. It's quite badly damaged, but as you look at the one that's written in common, William, you can just about make out the following words. Not what we suspected. Shalana tells us, creature, discovered in depths, holy, servant of Sheena-Rath. This thing is holy. What else have they lied to us about? Cannot let. Doubts shown. Common tongue. Do not speak. Keeps them purer. And there's other little bits in between that, but it's too badly damaged for you to read any other bits.
Can you write this down somewhere?
I'll tell you what I can do. If you just hold on a second, I'll post it in the Skype chat.
Okay. Mainly because of the names and stuff. Okay.
And obviously where I've put the sort of hyphens, that's the damaged portions that you can't read.
I'm showing this around, or reading it out loud for the others.
Okay, Sasha, now you've moved in as well, and you're a little nearer to the table. You can see there's what appears to be a partially smashed wooden bowl on the table, and you can just about make out in the flickering lantern light there appears to be a liquid in it, but it's not the sort of murky, black, oily water you've seen throughout this place. It's a crystal clear looking water. And as you're looking at that, Marcus steps in, shining his lantern around. You see the figure stood at the far end actually appears to be a wooden statue of an elf wearing long flowing robes, his hands held up and his face looking up to the sky.
This name, do we know something about Sheena-Rath already? Was this the
Would
goddess
this be
of
a thing that I know, John?
Well, you know that earlier on it was discussed that perhaps Sheena Rath was believed to be like the first elf or the person who created the first elves, and you thought that it sounded a bit like Shub-Niggurath, one of the old ones, but you weren't sure whether that was coincidence or whether there was something more behind it.
Yeah.
And Shalanat we didn't never hear, right? Okay. Weird. I would cautiously walk up to the corpse and give the Elven writing to Marku to translate.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. So move yourself over to the corpse, William.
Yeah, I'm already poking at it first and then looking around.
Yeah, not a problem. You poke all around it. It doesn't appear to have any obvious weapons or any sort of finery that you can spot. At first it's just wearing like decayed robes. However, as you poke around it a little more, you do see that it is wearing a silver necklace which has a tiny acorn made of silver on it.
Interesting.
I would cautiously try to grab this and take it.
Yeah, that's fine. You grab this. You have a silver elven necklace in the shape of an acorn. Okay, Marku, you've been handed these scrolls. Obviously, the common one has already been read, but of course, we know that from previous that you can read Ancient Elven. As you're looking at it, it appears that both of these leaf-like scrolls, both of them appear to contain sort of priestly intonations to summon the power of the gods to certain effects. You're not a religious man yourself, but you think one of them seems to be talking about protection or maybe some form of sanctuary, whereas the other is all about sort of forcing back corruption. And you notice that it specifically seems to be referring to plants that have been corrupted by some sort of force, although it doesn't mention what that force is.
I relay this. It merely talks about some form of sanctuary, though it doesn't really specify what. This priestly language can be a bit vague sometimes, and something to do with the corruption relating to the plants here. But
does this sound familiar? I'm looking to Audrun.
Okay, Audrun, you would know that there are certain priests in your homeland who can call on a sort of a sanctuary style effect that makes it more difficult for foes to attack them. If what Marku says about these being priestly intonations is true, you know that certain of your own kind, in order so they don't have to use their own internal magic, they scribe these intonations onto scrolls, as your kind call them, and they can then be used to produce this effect. They're effectively prayers that can be read to summon the magic that's in the scroll.
Could he use them? Could Audrun use them?
If Marku translates the intonations for him, there's no reason that he can't use them.
I don't have a reason not to do that for him.
And you're not sure, Audrun, but you think the second one he's talking about, right? It's talking about protecting from this corruption, specifically with plants that have been corrupted. Perhaps it's some sort of protection scroll that perhaps may be used to protect from plants or vegetable creatures or something similar.
It's not like that would be useful or anything, but no. I'll do it for you. I mean, it could take me a while though. I don't know how long this. I'll have to get out my Oxford English Dictionary to Elvish.
It'll take you a couple of minutes to translate it for Audrun. I mean, you pretty much got to read it out. He's got to remember it and understand it, and then just repeat while he's holding the scrolls.
Oh, it's going to be like a Geordie accent versus this Cockney accent. What's that word mean? All right.
Okay, so are you translating them for Audrun?
Yeah. I don't see a reason not to do that. I don't see.
Okay, it takes a couple of minutes, and as you get to the end of the translation, presumably you hand the scrolls over to Audrun. I'm assuming.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay, so Audrun, you have a sanctuary scroll. And you also have a protection from plant monsters scroll. Okay, however, as you get to the end of the translation, Marku, you notice that your lantern is starting to sputter and dim. It's making the sort of hissing sound that lets you know it's like on its last gasp of oil.
I already gave you one flask. Or, I'm see it flicker. Should we continue? I'm looking at the statue. Does anyone respond?
I'm looking at the scrolls.
Okay.
I was translating. That's what I was still.
At this point, can I ask Sasha? Can you please roll me a d6?
I can.
Okay, that's fine.
So
Does a tree like tentacle start growing out of a wound or something like that?
Nope.
Not just a statue attacking. It's fine.
So this temple is corrupted by.
Well, you know that earlier on the writings you guys found, they said they'd discovered something which originally they thought to be some sort of servant of their god or something similar in some older ruins they discovered below their temple. But the writings that Marku's been reading out in here seem to suggest that actually maybe it was something else.
What do you think they mean when they say that the creature is holy?
Yeah, I was already about to ask. Is this just referring to it being something like a former god, or is this good?
Of a god?
Now, Marku, you would know that obviously your kind who enter the long sleep, they do become effectively plants, like tree-style creatures. However, if this had happened in here and this like corruption spreading through everything that's growing in here, maybe that thing was once one of your people, or maybe it's some other servant of the temple that's been corrupted by whatever's spreading through here.
That's a terribly insidious thought, John. Thank you very much.
It's all right. Anytime, man.
So should we continue or not? I'm looking at Sasha specifically now.
Have we checked the entire room yet? Is everything?
No, I don't really want to go near the statue there.
She borrows Will's 10-foot pole and pokes the skeleton on the ground.
I already did multiple times.
you poke the skeleton, and you're not surprised by this at all, William, but it does nothing as you poke it.
Yeah, but does it break apart? I mean, is it brittle?
Yeah, as you sort of poke it, it's not sort of breaks apart. But you know, if you've ever seen like wood that's been entirely saturated with water, it more just sort of tears like damp paper, and that's what happens as you poke at it.
Is this what happens when you die, Marco? You turn into this?
No, this is new. Oh, you mean this statue? Is this actually one of ours? I thought it was actually like something metallic or.
No, the statue is made out of wood. It appears to depict an elf wearing robes with his hands held up and looking up at the sky.
That looks more deliberate to me.
You would expect if it was one of your people, the statue would actually like look more like a tree rather than a statue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this
this looks more carved than anything else.
She pokes at the skeleton.
Sasha's like, no, I mean this, and pokes the skeleton.
By the way, I would like to show around the silver necklace I got with the acorn on it, if everyone recognizes the symbol.
Okay, you show it around, and Marku, obviously you recognise that the acorn is a well-used symbol amongst the priests of your kind, since it symbolises new life and rebirth.
Right.
You wouldn't find it odd that a priest might be wearing something like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is there any actually writing on the statue itself, or is it just?
Can I just check, by the way, Marco, have you put some more oil into your lamp?
I didn't know it was run out, but if so,
well,
then I will.
I did say it was spluttering. Okay, so you've got an oil canister, have you?
Yeah.
I haven't, but
You have. I gave you one.
oh, you give me the whole lot. Sorry, I thought it was just the lantern itself.
No, I got you the lantern and one flask.
Okay, that's fine. So you quickly change it over. The lantern dims briefly as you turn it off and change the oil. Then you ignite it again, and this globe of light expands.
I'll go towards the statue.
Wait. I would stop him. Should we go near this thing or not? And if we do, maybe we should ready our weapons. Just in case.
Maybe we should just shoot it now and see what happens.
Maybe it's something valuable written on it.
Can I see if it's covered in vines, John, or anything like that, or does it appear free from any of the vegetation?
It appears strangely free from vines and moss.
See, the thing that's been dangerous has been covered in plant life so far. This thing.
I just ready my bow.
Okay, so if you're moving yourself over, Marco, move yourself over to the statue.
And I'm aiming at the statue for one turn.
Does anyone want to take the lantern off me when I do this, or are you okay for me to go over?
Yeah, I'll take the lantern and place it at her feet.
Okay, so
you'll also aim at the statue.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Before Marco goes near.
Okay, move yourself over, Marco.
I'm gonna go there.
Okay, that's fine. I've not bothered messing around with the light because you're still in the same room, so... Okay, as you move over to this statue, you can see, as I've described, this polished wooden statue of an elf wearing these long, flowing priest robes. You can see that the elf depicted has a similar acorn charm around its neck. Its hands are open, and its face is pointed upwards.
I'll look up, just to see if there's anything...
Okay, you look up and you see the ceiling of the cavern you're in with like moss and fronds hanging down from it.
It appears safe. I'll give it a little tap.
Okay, roll me a d6.
With the pole! With the pole!
Yeah, with the pole.
Okay, that's fine. As you tap it with the pole, there is a creaking noise, and the statue actually very slowly lowers its arms and turns its face towards you. Then as you take the pole back, it stops moving. You see that its mouth looked like it was about to open, but then it stops as soon as you take the pole off. It doesn't step forward or make any like hostile moves or attack you or extrude vines or anything of that nature.
Did everyone else see that?
Yeah, Did we?
We all shoot. It looked funny at us.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows?
Okay, Odrin, as this statue moves and you hear this creaking of wood, you feel a vague flicker of energy. It's very subtle and very sort of low key, but you recognise it as being something divine. It's just a very brief glimmer, and then as soon as Marku takes the pole off it, it disappears and the statue stops moving.
Could it be that this is some kind of godly advisor or something like that?
I step closer, leaning quite heavily on my this walking stick cudgel, and I say to Marco, "Do it again. Put the stick back on the thing."
Are you sure?
I'm
Yes.
still aiming. Still aiming.
Because there's a lot of guns pointed at my back right now.
Now I'm moving to the other side so I don't.
Okay.
That's fine. All three, feel free to position yourself in the chamber wherever you want to be.
Alright, hold on to your hats.
Okay, as you touch it, its mouth starts moving and a voice emerges from it. Now I'm going to start speaking as the statue. It's speaking in common, although it's quite heavily accented. If you choose to take the pole off at any time, Marku, just interrupt me and let me know. So as you touch it with the pole, it turns its face towards you, and in accented common it says, "If you are hearing this message that I have left here, then it is quite possible that the corruption has reached even this holy place, and that I have fallen in pursuit of my duties. I speak in the language of the barbarian tribes, since those who have fallen to corruption
That's you guys.
do not speak it. They believe that to do so would damage their purity. I speak it now so that if they find this message, it will mean nothing to them. I am Turiel. I was once the priest of this place. Know that we found something in the depths, and in our hubris we believed it to be a servant of our gods. Our highest priest was lured in by the divinity she believed dwelled within this thing, and too late we realised that it was not sent by the divine, but by then the corruption had taken hold of the hearts of my fellows, and those of us who remained loyal and were truly pure had little time. We did what we could to seal this place and trap the corruption within, but I fear if others are hearing this message, we failed. And at this point the statue's head lowers a little bit as though in sorrow, and it stops speaking.
Ha! There we have your demons. We must certainly cleanse this place of any offender.
It would seem a fox got into the hen house. Caused this.
I haven't seen any foxes here. Or hens, for that matter.
I'm looking at the statue. It also has one of these necklaces, right?
Indeed, although it's not an actual necklace, it's just like carved into the statue to depict a person who was wearing one of those necklaces. Perhaps it might even be a statue of the person whose skeleton you've found.
Just to test it, I would try to take on the necklace if something happens.
Okay, you go to take the necklace. It's actually from the skeleton.
No, my own.
Oh, of your own. Yeah, you hold the necklace. There's no, you don't notice any effects from it.
Yep.
It just
put it around my neck.
That's absolutely fine. You put it around your neck. It feels slightly warm and comforting as you put it around your neck. Not in any way that hot enough to damage you or anything. It's just like a comforting warmth that emanates from this acorn.
I hide it behind my armor.
No problems.
Underneath my armor. Okay. Where to next?
So, John, what's behind the statue?
Behind the statue. Okay,
Yeah.
So down here you can see another passageway. There is a passageway here as well, and there is also one across here. Now the dotted lines you can see here are just to show that there's actually like a passageway running underneath that. It's not like an impediment or a solid sort of blockage to you.
So, Mark will lead the way.
I don't have a lantern anymore, but I can head forward.
Move yourself to where you're heading, Morky.
Is this the only exit? Because it appeared to be more.
No, there's 3 other exits from the room. There is one here, the one you've just gone to, and one here.
And the one we came from.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I'll probably head behind the statue down here and have a gander.
Okay, so ignore these bits here and here because they're like the passageway running underneath it. So as you move down the corridor into the next chamber, you seem to be heading into what is the rotted remnants of perhaps once a kitchen or a place where food was prepared. You can see broken crockery and the rotted remnants of partially devoured food lying strewn around this chamber. However, as you sort of step in at the lead, William, you can hear from the left of you, and you can tell from the sort of airflow that there's a passageway down there, you can hear what sounds like, and then you hear a voice from down the passageway go, "No, it doesn't look like there's anything here."
I just point to the others that we should go back slowly.
I'll move back one step at a time, slow and sure.
And maybe point the light somewhere else. I point at the lantern.
Okay, move yourselves to where you want to be, guys.
Right.
I try to sneak ahead and maybe listen to whatever is in there.
Okay, so as you're moving, in response to the voice that you heard from about sort of here, you hear another voice coming from the passageway, sort of like from further down. It's a lot fainter, but it appears to be coming from this sort of direction. And you hear a voice say, I found some stuff in here. Keep looking. There's got to be something worthwhile down here.
Sounds like royalists are here. Maybe we should try to ambush them, or what?
One of the noises came from here, right?
That's correct.
Okay, Sasha will ready her pistol that way.
Okay.
I would ready my bow.
Okay, so we're effectively going on to turns. So first of all, it'll be William.
I ready my bow and try to sneak inside and listen closely and look around. If there's someone there, they should have a light source themselves.
Okay, make your sneak roll.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I can actually do, normally.
Okay,
Yes.
That's grand. So, as you're looking down there, I'm going to put a light on the person that's down there, so you can see what's going on with that. As you're looking in there, you can actually see a light in there, and you can see what appears to be a guy wearing, he looks to be human, he's got a bit of stubble around his face, he's wearing a hooded travelling cloak, it looks worn and patched, certainly not the sort of stuff you've seen, like the fancy clothes you've seen the royalists wearing, and he appears to be sort of going through some wrecked furniture in this room, and he's poking around another of these statues in there, sort of like giving the place a once over, basically.
Can I look at him a bit more closely if he has any sigils or something I can identify?
He doesn't appear to have any sigils. You can see he's got a short bow over his shoulder, and you can see there's like a short sword hanging from his belt. He's holding a covered lantern in one hand while he's checking through this chair and this table that are next to him.
I would go slowly back to the others and whisper to them about this guy and tell them what I saw.
As you head back to the others and you're sort of like whispering about this guy, so feel free to move yourself back. You hear this guy in the room shout back to whatever companion he's been talking to. He's like, "Here, Rob, I found all of them gemstones." The voice from here shouts back, "Well, pocket it, we'll divvy it up later."
So it does sound like there's only two of them.
As far as
You only heard
as far as you can hear
two.
at the moment, yeah.
And I guess we could try to talk with them.
I point her at the door.
They want me to talk to them.
You are good at this.
Okay. So we'll move up here.
I would give her cover, staying close behind her.
Okay, so move yourself to where you want to be, Sasha.
Yep. I'm down.
With-
Okay, you can see this person, since they've got their head down and they're rooting through the furniture in here. As you're getting in, they're just holding this like softly glowing green gem and like tucking it into a belt pouch. Then they're like looking around the furniture again. They don't appear to have spotted you just yet.
Yeah.
I'm pointing my bow at him and aim.
She calls out, "Hey, old man, how did you fall down here?"
You see he like looks up and he nearly drops his lantern, but then sort of like points it in your direction. You see his hand reach around, but rests on the hilt of his sword, although he doesn't draw it. And he's like, you hear a voice from down the passageway go, "What's going on, Henry?" He's like, "There's a little girl down here." He shines his light towards you and he's like, "What are you doing down here, little girl?"
We fell through the hole.
He's like, oh well, bad times for you. If I were you though, I'd get yourself out of there. Dangerous place. He goes, you see that door over there? And he points at a door in the lower corner of the cavern. He goes, someone was throwing itself against the other side of that a few minutes ago. Don't know what it was, but it seems to be quiet now. I'd get all the goings good if I were you, miss.
Yeah, there's a lot of plant creatures down here.
He says, yeah, he says, one of my men nearly got grabbed by the vines on the walls of one of these caves, but we were able to prise him out, although we had to send him back up top. There's no way he could have carried on. He says, yeah, but looks like there's not really much in here. He says, all I found in here is like leaves with like scribbles on them, and he like pulls out of his pack some leaves and like just, you recognise some like Elven writing on them. He just like, throws them to the ground.
Okay, how many are you? I mean, how did you get down here?
He says, well, I don't think that's any business of yours, miss. Like I say, I'd get yourself out of there if I were you, if you know what's good for you. And he still like keeps his hand like resting on his short sword.
Yeah, chill. Oh man, we're not dangerous.
As you're having this discussion, another member walks in from the passageway in the south, and he's like, everything all right, Emery? At which point the first person you spoke to looks back and he goes, yeah, it's fine, Rob. Looks like a little girl's somehow fallen down here.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, another one of these figures has walked in. He's asked his companion if everything's all right, and he's just gone, yeah, there's a little girl somehow fallen down here. The man who's just walked in's like, well, if you know what's good for you, I'd skedaddle if I were you, miss. This ain't no place for a little girl.
Yeah, as I said, we fell down a hole, so we can't really get up that way. Did you come to a stairway or a door or something more easily accessible?
Well, I don't see how that's any of your business, miss.
Well, if I need to get out.
He's like, fine. He's like, the first guy's like, Rob, go and show this little girl the way out, will you? He's like, oh, okay, just give us a moment. Let me light my lantern. I doused it when I heard the voices. And you see him like fiddling around with a lantern.
She whispers to William in Latin, I'll kill him, you stay here.
I nod.
Okay, are you following this guy as he's trying to escort you, Sasha?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll move him and then I'll move your token.
I would slowly try to sneak behind the corner to keep aiming at the guy, just in case.
Okay. So as they make another sneak roll, William.
Sure. Nope.
Okay, as you sneak, you accidentally stumble over one of the vines on the floor, making a little bit of noise. The man who's here pulls out his short sword and he's like, who else is out there?
Okay, I would quickly undraw my bow and look around the corner and try to look as dumb as I possibly can. Just me.
Okay, so move yourself to where you're going to be.
I'm still holding the bow, but I lowered it.
That's fine. I'm going to jump over to Sasha. You're led through these caves by this figure holding his lantern. He eventually leads you to what appears to be a stone staircase, which is here. It appears to be heading upwards. He says, there's your way out, little un. He says, don't mind all the rocks and everything on it. We had to bust them out of the way to get down here. He's like, there you go. Get yourself out of there. Get yourself back home. Your mum will be missing you.
Yeah. As soon as he turns his back to her, oh my god! As soon as he turns his back to her,
yep.
That was difficult to say. she backstabs him.
Okay, not a problem. Make your attack roll.
Because that's the kind of person.
Did she attack from the back? Maybe that's +2.
Yep, you certainly have that.
+2. 22.
Okay, you've definitely hit. What's your damage?
6.
Okay, you have got enough to have killed this guy, and since it was a surprise attack, you can kill him before he has a chance to make a sound.
Oh, she'll go in and stab him and grab him, and as he falls down, she'll slightly twist the rapier and pull it out.
Okay, he opens his mouth to scream or raise the alarm, but because you've stabbed him through his chest and pierced his lung, just like a comes out, and you sort of lower him to the ground so as not to make any noise.
I don't know, guys. I don't think we're the good guys in this story.
Did you ever?
I don't think there are good guys.
Do you really think we are the good guys?
Speak for yourself. I'm saving the elven race.
Okay, so he is quite clearly dead. He has a short bow and a short sword on him. He's not really wearing any armour, just like a travelling cloak. You do, however, find that he has what appeared to be 20 silver pieces on him. They're all of an old design with like elven sort of writings on them. He's obviously pilfered them from this place.
Dibs.
Okay, so 20 silver.
You already got stuff.
Of elven designs. He takes those.
Okay.
And then she moves back quietly.
Okay, so we'll leave you there for the moment. We're going to jump across to William, who's walking out with a bow. The guy's sort of still pointing his sword at you, but obviously since we're in rounds, you would get to go first, William. So what are you doing as you walk out with the bow?
Yeah, as I said, I just try to look as dumb as I possibly can, and holding my bow down. It's like I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm looking at it's just me, and I try to keep my mouth open all the time.
He looks at you and he just sort of like lower his sword. He's like, "What the hell's going on here? Have the villagers started abandoning kids in the woods again?"
I followed her. She looked so nice.
Oh, hold on a minute. And he sort of like, he moves a bit closer. He's not holding his weapon in like a threatening way, but he moves a bit closer so he can see you a bit better. And he goes, "I know you. I've seen you before. You were at the wagon."
Yes.
At which point he sort of like laughs and he just like sheathes his sword. And he goes, "Wow, what can I say? I mean, thanks for like cutting me loose and everything." It's just
Sure. I help always.
He says, "How on earth did you end up in this godforsaken place?"
She looked pretty.
He sort of like raises one eyebrow and looks at you a little quizzically. Obviously, Marku and Odrin, you can hear this conversation going on. He's like, "Well, like I say, I suppose I owe you and your friends one for busting me out. And well, if I hadn't been in the area with a few of the other boys who got out from the wagon, well, we'd never find this place." And he sort of pats his leather pouch that's on his belt and he goes, "Well, I'm going to be a good deal richer when I get back to town, ain't I?"
I'm looking at the scrolls he threw on the floor. These look nice. Can I have them?
He's like, "What, that old tat down there?" He's like, "Oh, it's just some like squiggles on leaves. Yeah, enjoy yourself."
Thank you. And I'm just holstering my bow and take all of them.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'm just waiting until I see something of Sasha or something. He seems to have his guard down currently, so...
That's correct. Okay, so Sasha, do you want to move yourself to wherever you were going to go? And Odrin and Marku, what are you doing while this is going on?
Unmute myself. I was just hunkering down, really, and just waiting for the chaos to unfold. Since I'm the least stealthy of the group, probably. Next to the old man here. Old man Ogren.
Because of the rules of this game, I'm the only one who's stealthy in this group.
Yep, so I'm doing the same as Marku, just grasping my cudgel, waiting for the violence to break out.
Okay.
Sasha will move up there with her pistol drawn, but behind her back, and as soon as she get into point of view, she'll raise the pistol pointed at the bandit.
Okay.
I would
Are you doing this sneakily, Sasha, or are you just brazenly like walking in like?
No, she's walking up. She's trying to not, to make too much a fuss of herself, but she's not gonna sneak around because she can't. But she's gonna hide the pistol behind her back.
That's
and
absolutely fine.
As soon as you get into that position, she'll raise the pistol and point it at him.
Okay, as you walk in with the pistol behind your back, he obviously hears you coming, turns to look at you, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you were getting out of here, miss." He says, "I thought Rob was going to show you the way out."
I draw my bow and aim at his back.
That's fine. At which point, presumably, Sasha, you pull the pistol out.
Yeah, I'm afraid we're here to rob you.
He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He holds up his hands, obviously realising he hasn't got time to draw his weapon before you shoot him. He's like, "Well, what's a little girl like you doing with something like that? That's dangerous. There's no need for any of this, miss. There's plenty of loot around here for all of us. We're all in the same boat, ain't we?"
Well, give us the nice shiny stones then.
Just drop all your weapons. My voice completely changed now.
As you say that, he like reaches slowly down with one hand, holds his sword out and drops it. You see his bow's over his shoulder. He flicks the string off it and it drops to the ground.
This is a robbery.
I call for the other two. Come in.
Okay, so William shouts to you guys to get in here.
Yeah, okay. Your voice went all robot on me, so... But yeah.
I will approach with caution.
Okay.
I still aim at this guy.
The temptation to tap this guy with a 10-foot pole is enormous. Just everything in this place is trying to kill me.
He's just walk in and tap him on the forehead.
Already infected with a 10-foot pole curse.
Okay, so move yourself to where you want to be, Marco, unless you're staying in your current position.
Let's have a look.
Effectively, we're out of combat rounds because this guy's like unarmed. He's got two people with weapons on him.
Can't
He's
really
no real
see
threat.
where they are. If they moved beyond.
They're up here.
All right. So if I see. All right, I'll come stand next to William.
Yeah, I'm still pointing my bow at his back.
Okay, so the guy's dropped his weapons. He's holding his hands up. As you move out, Odrin and Marku, you do all now. You can see him in the light a bit closer. You recognise this guy as the bandit who was in the same wagon train as you, Odrin, who basically like escaped when you all like busted everyone out.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing down here?
It's like, well, once you guys had sprung me from the wagon, I hooked up with the rest of my boys who were in the rear cart, and we decided to like hunker down for a bit. You know what, with royalists being in the area, we were going to wait our time out, just bide our time. And while we were looking, well, we found this old stone door in the ground, all covered in rocks and caved in. Well, after we shifted it a bit, we decided to come down and have a look, see if there was anything worth looting, didn't we? Don't see why a man can't make a bit of profit out of it. After all, the royalists took everything that I had on me when they threw me in that bloody prison cart.
Mm.
Sounds fair.
Where did you get those weapons?
Where's the rest of you, though?
He's
It seems
like-
there was more of him.
He's like, well, a couple of my boys had managed to like retrieve their stuff from the rear wagon train, but we only had like a couple of swords, and one of them had got a bow, which I claimed, and we found a few weapons down here, like that we've managed to scrape up. Mighty fancy looking there are, although I didn't end up with one of them. I've just got the normal sword down there, and he sort of gestures with his head towards the sword that he's dropped on the ground.
He has some of the elf stones.
And these writings, and I give them to Marku.
I'll have a look at them under lamplight, which I think's with Sasha now, isn't it?
They have their own lamp.
Oh,
No,
okay.
You have a lantern too,
Yeah,
normally.
I'm assuming you've picked your lantern back up, Mark.
Okay.
So
That's
just
great.
for convenience's sake. So, okay, as you peer at these writings, again, they're quite badly damaged, Marku, but you see that it says, "Old, time drawing near, faith rewarded. 2 days ago we discovered, in the depths below the old shrine, great servant Sheena Rath, faithful servant. Hear it call to me, when? Enter the great sleep. Shall become one with Sheena Rath." And I'll post that in the chat window so you can have a look at it. you can see that although it is written in ancient Elven, the handwriting is different from the previous ones you've found. It's a more sort of looped cursive script, and it looks a lot less panicked than the previous writing.
It's a different elf. It's more like it's telling a story rather than a proclamation in a haste.
How many of these writings were there?
It looks as though it was basically the equivalent of like someone's journal, but from all the various leaves, what you've got there is what you've managed to piece together, because quite a bit of it's damaged.
Okay. But he has some of the elf stones. She says, looking at the elf.
The bandit guy still stood there with his hands up, and he's like, elf stones? What the bloody hell are you on about?
The shiny stones.
He's like, oh, the jewels? He's like, yeah, I've got a couple of them. What of it? I find it fair and square.
Yeah,
not like anyone down here was like having any use for them.
That's true, and now we're robbing you, fair and square.
It looks like, is it? He starts to protest, and then obviously he looks around and realizes he's horribly outnumbered, and he's like, look, they're in. He's like, I'm not moving my hands. I don't want to get shot or killed or anything. Look, they're in my belt pouch. There, help yourselves.
Ogren, would you be a dear?
Yeah. Yep, I'll do it.
Okay, you reach into his pouch, and you find a number of these elf stones in there. 5 of them in total, each of them about the size of the fist and glowing a soft green colour.
Did the other guy also have Elfstone with him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna write these 5 down, and you have 1, right, Marco?
Yeah, Sasha, you would have found an elf stone on the guy you killed as well, so you will actually have 6.
Okay, 6. I'll write 6 elf stones down.
What should we do with him?
Well, I think we should get out. I mean, Rob showed me the way out, so I think we should go and say we did good. We have 7.
We still have our rope on the other statue.
Okay, while you're having this conversation, Odrin, you're sort of obviously taking these elf stones out of the bandit's pouch, and as you're doing so, you notice that he keeps occasionally, his eyes keep flickering in the direction of the statue that's next to William.
Mm-hmm. Well, I address him. Has your statue done anything, moved, or anything like that?
No, it's a statue, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. An Elven one.
Yeah.
It's
just a statue, nothing to see.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, sir. Have your statue been moving lately?
William.
Yes.
Would you put one of your ridiculous sticks against the statue here?
I'm lowering my bow. Still looking at... Sasha still has a pistol on him?
Yes.
Well, I have my cudgel on him, so...
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I'm lowering my bow and touch it with my 10-foot pole.
Okay, you poke the statue with a 10-foot pole, and what you first took to be a sort of carving of leather armour on this statue, as you poke it, you can actually see that there's actually like leather armour like that's been put on the statue, almost like a tailor's dummy. You didn't realise at first because the brown of the leather armour is it's dark brown, it's so similar to the colour of the wood, but as you poke it, you see it's actually like a suit of armour on the statue rather than just carved detail.
But it doesn't move like the other one.
No.
Weird.
Like I say, effectively you think that this statue is almost like a mannequin that like someone's used to put a suit of armour on to like...
Mm-hmm. Does this armor look any different than those we already found?
It's covered in spiralling elven runes, and the leather is a dark brown, almost black colour, far darker than any sort of common leather you'll have seen.
Marco?
Hello.
Could you look at this, please?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay, not a problem. As you move out and you look at these elven runes on it, you can see that it says Armour of Shalana, Blessed of the Shadows and High Priest of the Temple.
Ooh.
This looks like something special. Do I have to put it on to know what it actually does? If it has any magical properties?
Well, you'd have to get someone to like cast a spell that would reveal that, or you'd have to put it on and like through trial and error work out what it did, if anything.
I'm guessing my read magic spell does not cover this.
Well, let me have a look and I will tell you. Let me just check the result of it.
I think read magic is for reading scrolls. I'm not sure though. I'm no expert on the system.
Me neither.
Okay, normally it is just for scrolls. I'll say if you want to cast it though, if it's got some magical properties, you'll gain like a vague impression of it because it has got writing on it.
Why not? I've never cast a spell before. Let's give it a shot.
Okay, you don't have to make a roll for it. You just cast that spell. You get the feeling that this armor has something to do with concealing oneself in shadows. There's some. You get the feeling of sort of concealment magic about it.
Ooh. Well, I believe this armor will make you more difficult to see in shadow, but I'm not entirely sure. The Elvish is a bit old and archaic.
My eyes flicker for a second. Should we take it?
I don't see why not. It's not doing any good down here.
Okay, I try to take it off slowly and carefully.
That's not a problem. You take the armour off the statue. Obviously, it's a bit too big for you, William, because it's sized for like a grown elf, but it does look extremely finely made. Like I say, it has these elven runes sort of etched into the leather.
Is it common knowledge anything about magic items? Because in other systems, it's oftentimes the case that magic items adjust to the size of their wearer a little bit.
Since you're not in the arcane way, you wouldn't know about that.
Okay, yeah. I would try to put it on somehow, maybe petting it a bit or something.
Okay, you slip the armour onto yourself, and as you do, it becomes far darker, entirely black, and it actually seems to almost swim across your body like living shadow, and as it settles back into its former shape, it is now a perfect fit for you.
Nice.
I smile. Really, really widely. I'd never done that.
I briefly contemplated to myself, I hope the darkness wasn't referring to curse. No, it'll be okay, it'll be fine.
Okay, and I will tell you, just for the purposes of writing this down on your character sheet, William, that you have shadow armour that gives you an extra +1 to stealth attempts.
Yes, only +1 more and I am a max.
Nice.
How much armor class does it have?
It has a standard armour class of normal leather armour.
Okay. I think I'm already wearing another armor.
Just let the lantern light play like strangely across it.
It does indeed. As the lantern light moves across, the shadows in the recesses of the armour seem to move strangely and not in sync with the light, as though the shadows are like actually moving of their own accord.
I think you're wearing a buff coat or something.
What was the name exactly? Sorry.
Shadow armour.
Okay.
If you want to be technical, it's the shadow armour of Shalana.
Let's be technical.
Should we get out now?
I think we already have a lot of interesting things.
Good.
I look very satisfied.
Yes, I think our good fortune has lasted us this far, and it would be foolish to try our luck.
Yes.
We should go rest and eat.
As you're saying that, the bandit, you're still holding at gunpoint, basically. He's like, whoa, you can't expect me to leave here with nothing. I mean, come on.
I'm
He's like, come on, you don't need all 5 of them gems, surely. Just one of them would set me up right nice.
Friend, I attempt to put my arm around his shoulders.
He doesn't make any attempt to resist, probably more due to the fact he's got weapons trained on him and you're massive.
Yeah. Which god do you pray to?
So what do you mean, which god? There's only one god.
I just brain him with my with my cudgel.
As you say that, are you trying to kill him or just knock him out?
And I just want to kill him, if that's possible.
That's not a problem. He goes, "What are you talking about? There's only one." And you're like, and just like smash him around the side of the face. His neck snaps round, and there's a loud cracking sound, and he slumps to the ground.
Yeah, I definitely think you're the bad guys.
And I kneel next to the guy, and I take my cudgel. It's a cudgel / walking stick, so the end is kind of pointed, and I just stab the point to his throat, so as to make a small fountain of blood while his blood is still flowing. And I dip a couple of my fingers there, put a little bit of the blood paint on my cudgel, the fish face, and then I paint the same lines on my own face, and I raise my hand up to, well, the earthy ceiling, and I give thanks to Dagon for the good fortune that we've had, and I hope that he will be looking out for us, even though we are so far away from water and surrounded by these heathens.
Okay. You do so.
I'm looking at you. I assume he snored.
Sorry, what?
I assume he snored on your travels because you just killed him.
No, he was here, and Dagon demands tribute. I say this as if I'm explaining something to a child that doesn't really understand. Which
can I have the next one to attribute for Karnak?
I guess it's better than the elf then. She uncocks the pistol and puts it in her.
I'm honestly asking if I can have the next one to tribute for my god.
Yeah, sure.
John, do I know this thing / deity that William is talking about?
The name sounds familiar, but you can't quite place it.
I already told you I'm with Karnak. And I gave you some of the idols and stuff.
Yes. And I probably have all the 7 medallions on my neck. The name escapes me.
Karnak.
Yes. It has been some time. But yes, we shall make a grand feast.
Okay, as they're talking, Sasha, you're aware of a figure attempting to creep around the sort of passageway that you're in. He's obviously trying to be stealthy. He's wearing a similar travelling cloak to the guy you've just killed, but he's obviously not very good at being stealthy, certainly nowhere near as proficient as William, and you've sort of spotted him.
She spins around while she's drawing her pistol. Stop right there.
Okay, not a problem. The response is the twang of a bowstring.
Do I die?
You're not in line of sight, line of fire.
What's your AC, Sasha?
15.
Okay, the
armor protects.
He's obviously just burst out and snapped off a shot as you shouted and wasn't really aiming properly. The arrow flies over your head and sort of clatters into the chamber beyond.
She's a little bit surprised at first, for a split second, and then she raises the pistol and pulls the trigger.
Okay,
and
make your misfire
I will roll
chance.
for the misfire. I will try to roll again. That is fire.
Yeah, that's fine. So make your attack roll.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay, you've definitely hit, however, it's not enough to kill him, so describe what happens with your gunshot. You've done him a minor wound.
What's up with... I only rolled 22 on to hit roll today.
Yeah, but you got only 2 damage.
Yeah, but... I mean, come on. Well, her aim is perfect, but he just twists his head a little bit as the bullet just chips his skull. So only a flesh wound in his across his brow.
Okay, so we're effectively into normal turns now, so it's William.
I'm still just saying, I only rolled 22s on hit rolls.
When I hear the gunshot, I would immediately draw my bow and run over here. Do I have line of fire to this guy?
Yeah,
I would draw my bow while walking and shoot at this guy.
go for it.
No bonus? No. I don't think so. 10, yeah.
Okay, you have not managed to hit him. Your arrow clatters off the wall as he ducks underneath it. We then go on to Odran. What are you doing, Odran?
So,
Stay out of line of fire. Maybe.
yeah, I don't think there's much for me to do. I'm just basically there,
Okay.
taking cover.
Okay, so we'll move on to Marku. Marku, what are you doing? You've obviously heard this gunshot and this sound of combat breaking out to the south of you.
I will... Can I see where the gunshot came from? So you said where the bow arrow came from.
Yeah, you can see this guy here just on the edge of the light.
Right. I'll draw my weapon and move up as far as I can get. But here... Oh god, I've killed the life for everybody.
Oh,
No, you didn't.
Because you're in
Okay.
the wall.
The guy who got down already also had a lantern.
Okay. So I'll move here so people can see, and I'll just basically shout, drawing the sword to drop his bow. He's surrounded.
Okay, that's fine. You shout that to him. I'm going to go on to the NPC's turn now. Okay, so as they're dealing with that one, Odran and William, you become aware of a second figure making his way around there. He walks around again, he has a short bow, and he's going to snap off a shot at you, William.
Okay. Armor class is still 15.
He's missed by a country mile. Obviously the shock of seeing Henry lying there bloody and dead, sacrificed on the altar of Dagon, has thrown him off his game, and the arrow goes miles wide of you.
Sneaky
The
bastards.
one who is down below, who's fighting with Sasha, is going to take another shot at her. Because obviously when Marku's been like, oh, surrender, we've got yourself surrounded, he's like seen the bloody body of one of his like companions and he's like, oh yeah, surrendering looked good. Again though, the shock of seeing one of his fellows so brutally slaughtered has thrown him off his game. He misses you entirely.
No, Sasha is warming to this armor.
Okay.
She'll
Go for it,
step
Sasha.
in and pistol whip him.
Go for it. Okay.
He swings and misses.
Okay, so I'm going to move you next to him, so I'll see you have to move into to combat. You swing and he sort of like catches your pistol on his arm, like grimaces slightly, but doesn't appear to have done him any real damage. So, speed things on, we move on to William next round.
It's I can't shoot and then move, right?
Yeah, you can shoot and move, you just obviously won't be able to aim or anything.
I don't want to aim. I shoot at this guy and would run into cover.
I presume you're shooting at the person who's not attacking Sasha.
Yeah, did this one.
Okay, go for it.
12.
Okay, you have hit him. However, it's only a very minor hit. So your arrow sort of catches him in the shoulder. He curses, but he's still got his bow notch. You can see he's like drawing another arrow ready to shoot again. We move on to...
afterwards I would run there.
Yeah, that's fine. So we move on to Odrin. Are you doing anything, Odrin?
Yeah. I'm pretty aware of both of these guys, right?
Yep.
I'm just gonna go there and do to him, hopefully, before he does unto me.
Okay, make your attack roll.
Let's see. Okay. There we go.
Okay, you swing your cudgel at him. However, in your still weakened state, he blocks your cudgel with his bow. And you know, normally your great strength would have shattered that bow and got on to cleave his skull. But in your weakened state, he manages to sort of force your cudgel to one side. We go on to Marku.
Right, I'm going to get behind him if I can.
Move yourself to where you. If you move past him, yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
And I'll try this sword out for a laugh.
Okay, make your attack roll.
If he attacks from the back, he has +2.
Mm-hmm.
Do I? Oh,
yep,
sweet.
You do indeed.
So that's okay. Total of that. Okay, maybe.
You've hit him. Roll your damage.
Wow.
Well, they're just dudes wearing cloaks. They're not like armoured or anything. Okay, you've done enough damage to kill this guy. So narrate how you slip past him and finish him off.
So yeah, as he's in his fear, as he's twanging his arrow, I sort of get under his guard, get around him, draw this sword, and I just slice him through the shoulder.
Okay, so Sasha, you see Marku slip round him as this guy's drawing his short sword ready to deal with you. Suddenly from behind him, this sword like jabs through his shoulder and slices down his rib cage. He lets out a gurgle as blood runs out of his mouth and just collapses to the floor.
Unfortunately, in that moment, her hair fell down her eyes, so she didn't see it.
Okay, we go on to the NPCs go. Now, this guy is basically like dropping his bow because he's in close combat with him. He's just going to slice at you with his short sword. Odrin, what's your AC?
It is 15. True to form. True to form.
Is that a critical in this game, or just a hit?
No, there's no critical.
It's just a hit. So I believe it's... What's the damage for a basic sword, anyone? So not
if it's a medium, it's a D8.
Okay. So you've taken 3 hit points of damage.
Good night, sweet prince. Down I go.
You should make a list how many times you got down already.
Okay, so William, from where you are, you just about see this blade lash out and it strikes Odrin and in his already weakened state, he crumples to the floor. Okay, Sasha.
Oh. God, she will run over and... Where is the guy?
Yeah,
It's
somewhere.
difficult to place because of the light. Can she see him?
Yeah, it's fine.
So run and pistol whip.
Okay, make your attack roll. You need 10 or more.
I have a 17 and 3 points of damage.
Okay, with the damage that's
Not
already...
a 22 though.
With the damage that's already been done to him, that is enough
Right.
to kill him. So narrate how you kill him. As Odrin falls, you come running round the corner, and what happens next?
Well, she's still suffering from what will later be known in history as post-traumatic stress from seeing Edwin die and being turned into a zombie. So somehow she has latched that feeling onto Ogren. So she, in her panic, she'll just come running down and flailing wildly with the pistol and cracking the skull of this bandit.
Indeed, you plant your pistol squarely with the handle down into his forehead. He looks at you disbelievingly for a moment and then falls down to the floor, dead. We're now out of combat rounds, guys.
Okay. I would like if we could end it here.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is I assume you guys are planning on getting out of here.
Well, I
Yeah.
rush over and try and stabilise and wake up.
Okay, well, what we're going to do to wrap it up, guys, is between you all, you grab Odrin, you carry him up this passageway that Sasha was led to, and you emerge from this sort of like almost like this stone doorway that's set into the ground into a different part of the wooded copse that you were previously into. You emerge into the mid-evening air. Odrin is alive but still unconscious. You all emerge from the temple, sort of panting for breath, sort of looking at the damage on yourself, but having gained a considerable amount of loot. And as you emerge from the temple, I'm going to tell you that you can all level up.
Wait,
Finally!
even me?
Yeah, even you.
Wow.
Please, be gone.
So
I require like twice as much.
now what we'll do next time is we'll pick up with you guys in the wooded copse of trees. Presumably you'll want to rest a bit so Odrin can recover, etc. But I'm quite happy to chat for a little bit afterwards. But for now, I'm going to end the session. So thank you all very much for playing, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
And
you.
to anyone who's watching, take care, and we will see you all again sometime.